sun-bleached motels, truck stops, and neon bars. For most, they're just pit stops on the way to somewhere else. For Aileen Wuornos, they were hunting grounds. She wasn't the first person in America to take lives, but she was the first woman to be branded a serial offender in the modern era. Her story is part tragedy, part nightmare. A woman scarred by abuse and abandonment, who would go on to leave 7 men dead in less than 2 years. Anyway, back to the murder. Aileen Carol Wuornos was born in Rochester, Michigan in 1956. Her life was marked by tragedy from the very beginning. Her father was a convicted offender who never even met her. He was imprisoned when she was born and later ended his own life behind bars. Her mother abandoned both Aileen and her older brother, leaving them in the care of their grandparents. But this wasn't the safety net it should have been. Her grandfather was an abusive alcoholic, prone to violent outbursts. Aileen's childhood was filled with neglect, beatings, and according to some reports, inappropriate contact. By the age of 11, she was already exchanging favors for food, cigarettes, and small amounts of money. At 14, she became pregnant after being taken advantage of by a family acquaintance. The baby was given up for adoption. Not long after, she was kicked out of her home. Homeless, abandoned, permanently cast out before she was even 16. With nowhere to go, Aileen drifted through her teenage years hitchhiking across the country. She survived however she could, through street work, theft, and hustles that barely kept her alive. Police records from the 70s and 80s show a growing list of arrests, disorderly conduct, theft, and weapon charges. At the age of 20, she tried something different. She married a wealthy man nearly 50 years older than her, but her violent temper and run-ins with the law ended the marriage in weeks. She went back to drifting, mostly in Florida, living in cheap motels, crashing with strangers, selling services to men she met along the highway. Her life was spiraling, and soon the chaos inside her would explode outward. Between December 1989 and November 1990, 7 men lost their lives across Florida. Each had been shot multiple times, often with a .22 caliber pistol. Their bodies were discovered in wooded areas near highways. The victims were Richard Mallory, David Spears, Charles Carskadden, Troy Burress, Charles Humphreys, Peter Seams, and Walter Antonio. The pattern shocked Florida law enforcement. Multiple male victims, all found in similar circumstances. This wasn't random violence, this was serial. Aileen claimed every single act was self-defense. She said each man had tried to force themselves on her while she was working. So what was the problem? Forensics painted a different picture. Many of the victims were shot multiple times, some in the back, some at a distance. It didn't look like desperate self-defense. It looked like execution. In January 1991, police finally tracked her down. Aileen had been living in seedy motels with her girlfriend, Tyra Moore. Detectives pressured Tyra into cooperating and she agreed. Tyra called Aileen, secretly recorded, pleading for her to confess. Within days, Aileen broke down and admitted to what she had done. In her words, "I did it, robbed them as cold as ice, and I do it again too." At her trial, Aileen's defense leaned heavily on her claims of self-defense, but prosecutors had her taped confessions, eyewitness accounts, and ballistic evidence. It didn't take long. She was convicted on multiple counts and sentenced to death. The media devoured Aileen's story. A female serial offender was almost unheard of in America, and the headlines turned her both a villain and strangely a kind of celebrity. Psychologists diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder. Her violent childhood, combined with years of trauma, had created a dangerous woman. Over the years, she gave a series of bizarre and angry interviews. In some, she railed against the system. In others, she spoke of conspiracies, government mind control, and bizarrely, UFOs. Like, what the fuck, why? By the late 1990s, her mental state was deteriorating rapidly. On October 9, 2002, after more than a decade on death row, Aileen Wuornos was executed by lethal injection. Her final words were as strange as the rest of her life. She said, "I will be back, like Independence Day, with Jesus, June 6th. Like the movie, big mothership and all, I will be back." And then she was gone. So what's the aftermath of all this? Aileen Wuornos remains one of the most infamous female offenders in history. Her case sparked debates about trauma, abuse, gender, and crime. Was she a monster created by her circumstances, or simply an unrepentant predator? Documentaries, books, and even Hollywood films continue to tell her story. Charlize Theron's Oscar-winning performance in Monster brought Aileen's face to a global audience. That was actually like the first thing I heard about Aileen Wuornos, was watching that movie. Super good, I really recommend it. Anyway, in the end, Aileen Wuornos was both victim and predator, a woman destroyed by the cruelty of her childhood, who turned her rage outwards on the world. So, final thoughts. I'd say she's both a monster and a victim, but I don't think she's a victim for like murdering those men. I think that was like unforgivable, and she's not a victim in that. Like, no, I don't think so. But from her childhood and everything she's been through, sure, she's a victim. Like, trauma can do a lot of shit to a person, but I don't think that it's fair to say that you're a victim if you turn to murder, if you know what I mean. So this was like a short recap, just taking up like the most important things in this case. There's like a lot more to say about it. I think Murderopedia have a lot of interesting information and stuff about this case, and I'm not really sure how long to make the video, you know, so yeah. Anyway, hope you liked this video. Bye.